Hey everybody, Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. So this is another clearing with the Lead Team Collective. And what we are doing is withdrawing consent for, this is what we're doing today, is withdrawing consent for, I gotta get to the right page here. Fear, control, and survival conditioning. So that's what we're going to be doing today. This is part 2. I'm going to be doing 5 in a row. The first clearing we've already done, that's in the playlist called Withdrawing Consent. All right, so there's a playlist. I'll pop it up here at the end of this video. And the first one was withdrawing consent from hidden agreements, media influence, and unconscious participation. You'd be surprised how much I've learned, unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm glad I know it now, how much we have unconsciously given consent to things that are a lower vibration that we probably don't want to be giving consent to. All right. So that's kind of what we're clearing. So if you would like to do the hidden agreements, media influence, and unconscious participation, that will be in that playlist at the end of this video. So today we are doing fear, control, and survival conditioning. So I'm going to give you a little introduction. We're going to read together what it is that we're withdrawing consent for, and then we'll do the prayer for the Lead Team Collective and ask them to clear that, just clear the energy out of our systems, out of our nervous systems, our aura, our energy field, all that. It's all the same. To clear all the consent that we'd given so that we're kind of taking back our own free will with regards to that. Okay. And then at the end, I got a few things to share. I got a thank you to give to somebody, and we'll do a little, what I'm calling coffee with Karen at the end of the video, but we'll just chit chat for those who want to stick around. Now, I am putting, if you want to go ahead and print the declaration, basically, the withdrawal of consent, what we're doing, you can go ahead, it's in the description of this video. You can go ahead and print that, or you could read it off. You could just go to the description while you listen to me, and you could read it off while I am reading it for you, okay? If that's something that would be useful for you. Or you could print it off and save it for later, and that is in all of the videos, okay, in the description. All right, so I want to give Andrew Bartzis credit. This is not exactly how he has written them, but these are inspired by his work. He calls them revocations, okay? I think they're called revocation. I think that's how you pronounce that. So I put the link to his website below. If you want real different spoken ones, revocations, then his website is amazing. So go check that out. So basically throughout life, we may unknowingly live in fear, pressure, urgency, emotional overwhelm, survival mode, dependency, helplessness, or nervous system exhaustion through repeated stress, fear-based media, traumatic events, financial pressure, constant uncertainty, social conditioning, authority systems, or environments that keep people in a constant state of panic, hypervigilance, or emotional depletion. Sound familiar? This declaration is designed to help bring any unconscious agreements into awareness so they can be consciously reviewed and released. Its purpose is to help us consciously withdraw consent from fear-based participation and reclaim emotional balance, grounded awareness, discernment, stability, personal responsibility, and free will. This includes manipulation through fear, dependency conditioning, helplessness, false urgency, nervous system overload, survival conditioning, and any future unconscious agreements created through pressure, panic, fear, confusion, distraction, or emotional imbalance. I want to mention, I did see somebody's comment about, can we do it for remote, to protect ourselves from remote viewing? Absolutely. You can go ahead right now and add anything that you want to not, that you want to withdraw consent for. And I think I actually did a clearing on remote viewing so that people couldn't remote view into your energy. So let's just add it right now. I mean, that could be a part of, how whichever one of these withdraw consent videos that you want to do it in. But yeah, let's just withdraw consent from anyone being able to access our energy, either looking in from remote viewing or attaching to our energy or anything like that. This is our space, and we are declaring that. Okay. So furthermore, astrologer, I mentioned this in yesterday's video, and I will for all 5 of these because of the timing right now. So it depends on when you're looking at these. If you are watching this on around May 15th, which is when I'm recording this today, May 15th, 2026, then this would apply. If you're watching it in June, July, August, it may not apply this part. But astrologer Steve Judd, I will link below, says that May 17th to the 19th brings the first Mercury-Uranus conjunction in Gemini in about 77 years, which is amazing. He describes this as breakthrough energy connected to consciousness expansion, emotional and spiritual activation, major change points, new awareness, and the beginning of something new. Because this energy may bring sudden awareness, this energy, the May 17th to the 19th, which, would be picking up speed right now, I would think at the May 15th point, because this energy of the Mercury-Uranus conjunction may bring sudden awareness, emotional activation, nervous system intensity, and rapid shifts in perspective. This is the perfect time for us to consciously release fear, panic, survival conditioning, helplessness, emotional overwhelm, and nervous system exhaustion, instead of carrying them into the next phase of our lives through this beautiful transition we're going through. So I know this is a lot of words that I'm using. I'm trying to go slow enough so you can absorb them. That's why I'm talking like this, because sometimes when there's there's so much connected to these withdrawal consents. There's so many different areas, which is why there's so many different words strung together. So hopefully you're able to absorb each of the areas that we're talking about as we go through those. Okay, so this is what we are withdrawing consent for. On behalf of this community, I now withdraw consent for all systems of fear, manipulation, domination, coercion, deception, exploitation, panic, urgency, helplessness, and control. We refuse participation in any system that depends on fear, confusion, emotional overload, division, pressure, forced compliance, dependency, or harm. We withdraw consent from all agreements connected to living in constant survival mode, panic and hypervigilance, fear-based compliance, emotional exhaustion, learned helplessness, dependency conditioning, believing we have no choice, waiting to be saved, surrendering our authority out of fear. We do not consent to manipulation through fear, coercion disguised as authority, propaganda designed to influence thought or behavior, systems that profit from suffering, hidden agreements made without our full awareness or understanding. We reclaim our ability to think clearly, choose freely, live consciously, regulate our nervous system, and remain grounded in truth and discernment. We also withdraw consent from any future hidden, fear-based, manipulative, coercive, or unconscious agreements created through emotional pressure, propaganda, confusion, overwhelm, distraction, panic, dependency, or survival conditioning. No future manipulation, media influence, authority pressure, emotional coercion, or symbolic participation carries authority within our life or energy field unless it is consciously reviewed, fully understood, intentionally accepted, and aligned with our values, free will, discernment, and highest good. We choose peace over fear. We choose awareness over manipulation. We choose responsibility over helplessness. We choose truth, balance, clarity, and free will. Our energy, attention, emotions, and life force belong to us. Only what aligns with truth, integrity, peace, conscious consent, and the highest good may remain connected to us. All else is now released, and so it is. So, I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the lead team collective, and only those of the highest and purest light, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel, your channel, our community, the lead team collective, so it is all of the highest and purest light. Lead team collective, hello. How's it going today? Thank you so much for partnering with us. We really appreciate it. So lead team, on behalf of the community, we ask for support. So I'm going to give a little direction to the lead team now, and they're going to give us a clearing on that consent that we just, on the withdrawal consent that we just read. Okay. So on behalf of this community, we ask for support in releasing fear, overwhelm, confusion, obsession, anxiety, panic, hypervigilance, emotional exhaustion, and survival conditioning. Help us stay grounded in everyday life while also growing in awareness. Help our nervous systems remain balanced and regulated as we process new information and personal change. Help us release fear-based thinking while strengthening discernment, emotional stability, wisdom, inner peace, and trust in ourselves. Lead Team Collective, we ask that anything standing in the way of these desired outcomes be cleared for the highest good, and so it is. So Lead Team, I'm going to do the Law of Challenge real quick, and then would you do that clearing for us? Now, if this is your first clearing with me, just a couple things. You can cut, clear, and cancel any part of that whole thing I just read. You can, and just say, I cut, clear, and cancel this part. I'm adding this. You have complete 100%, obviously, free will to do that. Okay? Please do. Because what works for me may not work for you, or because I'm doing this on behalf of the community. Okay? Also, I wouldn't recommend more than one clearing a day. In fact, I could feel this clearing working for me. When I woke up this morning, I was a little off, but I really had faith that this clearing was, but basically what has to happen is these old agreements that society, just all the things from the time we were born that we've been accepting unconsciously in our field is releasing from us. But then there's empty space, right? And your body has to get used to that. Your body, your energy field, all that. And you might feel a little off, and off might be, I don't know, you might get a headache, cut, clear, cancel. You don't have to. I'm asking for, these clearings that we're asking from the lead team is to do it gently, basically. Help us clear the consent, as we do with the withdrawal consents, to do it peacefully in a calm, not so like dramatic way, so that we don't feel so, disrupted. So you can go on with your day. So I did feel a little off this morning, but it wasn't too bad. But I did recognize, and I was like, okay, just a couple deep breaths. I'm just going to let it happen. All right. So we're doing these. If you're doing them with me 5 in a row, you've got to give your body some time. Okay. Okay. So lead team, we're going to go ahead and do the clearing. If you hear a beep, 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 it's because my pressure canner is going off, but I don't have to stop. It'll go off like 3 times, I think. Hopefully it won't, but by the time we're done here. So, all right. Okay, just sit back and relax, and I'll let you know when it's done. Thank you, lead team. One, two, three. Is there a second layer? Yes. Okay, layer number 2, please. One, two, three. Is there another layer? Layer number 3. 1, 2, 3. Is there another layer? Oh my goodness, there's not. Wow, you guys. There is not. All right, thank you so much, lead team. I do have a few questions for the lead team regarding that, but okay, you can tell we needed that, you guys. That was like one of the longer clearings. Fear, control, and survival conditioning. We just cleared a ton of stuff. So amazing. Okay. So just for clarification, so lead team, are we now free from fear-based agreements? Yes. Manipulation, coercion, survival conditioning, or unconscious participation that was not consciously chosen? Are we free from that? Yay! Yes. Does this declaration successfully withdraw consent from future fear-based or manipulative agreements unless consciously accepted? Yes, very cool. Has this declaration reduced unconscious energetic ties connected to fear, propaganda, panic, pressure, or emotional manipulation? Yes. Has this declaration been accepted within our emotional, energetic, and spiritual fields? Yes. Is this declaration safe for our nervous system, emotional balance, physical body, and spiritual well-being? Well, can you imagine if they said no now? I'd be like, okay, not putting this video out. Yes. Can this declaration now stand permanently unless consciously changed by our own free will? Yes. So, well, then so it is. So, if you wanted to eventually give consent to unconscious things again, go for it. Who wants to do that? So that's pretty cool. So I'm excited about this and see how you feel about it after you go through this series. Notice over the next couple months if things start to feel different in your own, personal space, how you feel. Just, feeling like you're, standing up a little taller, a little bit more confident, that sort of thing. Hopefully that will be the case in all areas of our lives. Okay, so that's done. I'm going to share a few things. First of all, I wanted to thank, I'm going to do a couple thank yous this week. One after Bettina. Is it Bettina? Bettina. I haven't read your full note yet, so thank you so much for that. I enjoy so much reading what you guys write to me. But Bettina sent me this book, Activate Your Cosmic DNA. And it's so interesting. And you do have some questions in here, and I will eventually get to reading this for sure. I've got so many awesome books from you guys to read. So this is interesting to me, though. Discover your Starseed family from the Pleiades, Sirius, Andromeda, Centaurus, I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that right, Epsilon, Eridani, and Lyra. So what's interesting to me is I always thought Starseed was just, I didn't realize all of these names were a part of the Starseed family. And I had recently asked the lead team, actually, I think I did it during a video, and they said I was from the Pleiadians family. So that does mean I'm a Starseed then, according to this. See, I don't know much about this. I'm learning as we go along. So really cool. So thank you so much for sending this. I will let you know. I know you have some questions in here, so I'll have to look at those. Okay, So I wanted to just show you, this is a book that we are reading in the Spirit Circle right now. In fact, I'm just about to record an episode, basically, of pages that we've recently read. So if you'd like to join us in the Spirit Circle, I also have book clubs for the Golden Future. You can always go back and listen. It would just be like reading it now and then having a conversation. And you can go into the comments and see what people who have read before. It's never too late to do that. This would be in the second level of the Spirit Circle, is the book clubs. I call it the learning. So we have the Golden Future. We've got shadow work. We did a shadow journal together, journal workbook together. We did unicorns. We did the book on unicorns. What else did we do? Ask your spirit guides. That was really good. That was a really good one. I really liked the Golden Future. We did Ask Your Spirit Guide. I think it was called Ask Your Spirit Guides. That's a really good book, you guys, if you haven't read it. Then this is interesting. Speaking of books. So what do you guys think about this book? So I bought this like before the scandal. So what am I supposed to do with this book? I don't know. It's really interesting, because, we're not into judgment, but we have boundaries, right? I mean, we're trying not to judge or, and I'm sure, but I don't know. So do you guys does anybody have any of his books on your bookshelf still? I'm just curious. I found this in a drawer and I just read and I thought, oh my gosh, well, who better to learn about AI, how AI can elevate? But now the question is, who is he working for? Allegedly in entertainment purposes only, in terms of the Committee of 300 and AI. So now that I said that out loud, I guess, I don't know, I'm a little nervous to ask the lead team just because, I don't know. Let's not do that. Everybody use your own intuition. Only because I don't want to do that to him, If it was one, again, it was awful what he wrote, obviously, and who he was interacting with. So I'm not making excuses. But I'm also, one of the self-help, the self-care messages the lead team gave us this month was truth, and that there is different truths at different levels of consciousness. And then the bottom of that message says, avoid avoid judgment or something like that. Avoid judgment. So, but what's interesting is levels of consciousness. Really, of all people, right? So it does make me wonder, this is the problem with what he did and who he associated with, is then you wonder if anything he ever said is valid because of who he associated with. And it's really hard to think that, I don't know to what level his association was. Was it just that one email and they've never associated other than that? It's, who knows, So, but truth is different. Truth, I love that saying, is truth is different at different levels of consciousness. So that's why I am at a higher level of consciousness than I was a year ago, let's say. We all are, right? We're always hopefully growing. In the past, I would immediately have thrown this away. But because I'm at a different level of consciousness now, I'm at least willing to ask the question and think about it before I just judge and throw it away. You know what I mean? I think it's worth at least, again, at a different level of consciousness. I understand I can't believe that I'm at a higher level of consciousness than this guy is. is how it feels, right? If he chose to associate with who he was associating with, and clearly he knew because of the email that he wrote. So that's not even allegedly, that was in the files. Clearly he knew. But the problem is of course, there was like 3 or 4 spiritual leaders in there, and they took a hit. But how much of a hit did some other people take? Haven't seen too many arrests, have we? I mean, Bill Gates should be arrested. Elon Musk should be. I mean, they all had some pretty skanky stuff in there. A lot of people's stuff that was redacted, whatever. But anyways, so what is your truth about this at your level of consciousness right now? And let's say if you were at a higher level of consciousness than you are right now, or what your ego wants to do, what would you do with this information? I think we can, you know what I mean? Like my ego, So I'm just curious, what would you do? What would you do with this book? It's kind of a drag. It was expensive. It's $28. I bought it hardcover too. Because I thought, if anyone's going to tell us, and I was going to talk about the stuff in here, like with you guys. So, and I thought, because if we can use AI for good, but again, if he is working with the Committee of 300, he may be a part of that whole system. No way. Can't trust it, So you could read it, I suppose. We could read parts of it and then use our discernment. But there's so many other there's so many other great things that we could be reading that this person, well, hopefully wasn't in the files. You know what I mean? Or, Megan Watterson. There's just so many good things to spend your time on. So anyways, I just thought this was interesting. I had 3 books today, but this one, it's kind of interesting. Let me know your thoughts. All right, you guys, I hope the clearing was helpful. Let me know how it feels. If you did the one from yesterday, can you leave some comments too, especially as you go along? If it's been like, it's different when it's initially just done. Like you might have felt something. Some people say, I felt really good during that. I actually was I don't know if I was holding my breath, but I had to like consciously breathe because I felt like I was starting to suffocate a little bit, which was interesting. I don't know if that's just because I was holding and I was getting like a little impatient about it, or like I was trying not to get impatient about it because it was taking a long time. But I did feel a little bit like I was suffocating. So I just took a couple deep breaths, But let me know if you've, like I'm especially interested in what comes up tomorrow or next week, if you can associate them with some of this stuff. So, let us know. Curious. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. We are withdrawing consent from self-abandonment, any kind of contracts or any messaging or propaganda or anything that has where we have unconsciously consented to self-abandonment, shame, and unworthiness. I think that'll be a good one too. So, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.